So in this video, I'm going to teach you how to use one of the most basic mechanics in Pokemon Go PvP to your advantage, to have it where you could win, where you otherwise probably would have lost. Battlers! Now, while the concept for this strategy and this mechanic, whatever you want to call it, the concept itself is very, very simple, but in practice, using the strategy properly and executing it how it's supposed to be executed so it actually works does take a little bit of practice and know-how. You know, as far as practice and know-how, really just knowing your matchups and knowing your Pokemon Go typings when it comes to super effective, not very effective, neutral damage, etc. Having that knowledge beforehand is going to help you a lot with using this strategy. Let me give you my very simple definition on undercharging in Pokemon Go PvP and a couple other different things about it. So undercharging in and of itself, I mean, I literally just call it undercharging because that's all you're doing. You're just you're just undercharging the move, right? You know that in Pokemon Go PvP, when you access the charge move and you are going to hit those bubbles, you know that as you continue to hit those bubbles, words will pop up that say either nice, great, or excellent, or if you don't hit any bubbles at all, it won't say anything and it won't do much damage, right? So there's different stages on the amount of damage that is done between nice, great, and excellent. And even though in a lot of cases that can be very minimal, it is still very valid. And that mechanic in particular is what you are taking advantage of with this strategy and undercharging. And I believe that undercharging falls under a kind of an overarching category in Pokemon Go PvP strategy that's most commonly referred to as energy management. This is one of the things that I do in my own practice in PvP and Go Battle League to help me manage my energy a little better. And hopefully this is going to end up helping you manage your energy a little better too. More experienced players in PvP and Go Battle League probably already know what I am talking about. If you do, I'm sorry, this video is not really for you. It's more geared towards people who are not familiar with things like this. Before I kind of explain the strategy and give you an example of it as well, there is one main point that I would like to make that you always have to consider if you are going to undercharge. Type effectiveness. So when you are undercharging, there are a lot of cases where even if you only get a great on your charge move, when it goes unshielded, it will still KO the opponent's Pokemon. And there are also chances where you still want to get excellent on that charge move if it is not very effective against their Pokemon, because you need to deal that amount of damage, okay? And to explain undercharging, I guess as simply as I can, to give the most simple definition that really comes to mind for undercharging is that it is doing just enough damage to the opposing Pokemon to not KO. Now, that might seem pretty counterintuitive. Like, isn't that the whole point? Like, you want to KO and get rid of their Pokemon? Well, yes, I mean, that's one of the points of using the charge move. But when you think outside the box a little bit, if you use all of your energy throwing that charge move to KO that Pokemon, and they have a hard counter for you that they can bring in next, it would have been a lot better for you if you had that energy for that Pokemon instead of not having any energy at all. And a lot of the times it won't even work out. When you try it in practice, it can get a little frustrating. It's taken me quite a while to really, properly execute this myself. So, remember that too. It is going to take a lot of practice, and it also can be kind of situational. For example, if they still have shields, then it can be a gamble as to whether you're going to undercharge and then try and farm down. It's not always a strategy that's guaranteed to work, but when it does, it works very well, and it really helps a lot, especially when you're falling behind in a match and you feel like you are going to lose. It has helped me turn things around for myself sometimes. And I have prepared this specific example for you just to actually visualize. If you're a visual learner, this is going to help a lot for undercharging, what it is, what it does, and why it's useful, okay? I still feel like I should shield these frenzy plants though. I want him to not shield to see if I can get in a few extra wing attacks. Okay, he doesn't. Perfect. Perfecto. Undercharge for the win. And that was a very specific, very simplified example. There are so many scenarios where undercharging can apply and actually be useful in Pokemon Go PvP and in Go Battle League. Another main point that I would like to make before I end the video for this is that undercharging can work very different in each league, in the Great League, Ultra League, and Master League, because as you know, in the Great League, the total stat product in Great League is very, very, very different from the total stat product of Pokemon in the Master League, right? In the Master League, they are at their full potential. They are, as bulky and as hard hitting as they can possibly get. In the Ultra League, a lot of them are not quite yet. And obviously in the Great League, some of them are, but most of them are still not going to be at their full potential. So, in similar cases, undercharging in the Great League is very different from undercharging with that same matchup in the Master League. So that's, I guess, another thing that you have to familiarize yourself with through practice and through using resources such as PvPoke, which of course always linked in the description below. That's probably the ultimate resource for Go Battle PvP. But really, I still believe that getting as much practice as you possibly can with the top meta matchups is how you're going to best familiarize yourself on when you can, when you can't undercharge, when the best time is to do it, when it's going to work, when it's not going to work, etc. So again, like I said, it is a very, very basic and easy to understand concept, but in application, it does take a little bit of know-how. It takes matchup knowledge, and it does, in fact, take a lot of practice. So nonetheless, I do hope that this video helped you if you did not know about undercharging. Even though it's like it blew my mind when I first found out about it, because it's something that's so simple yet can also be super, super useful in bringing you victory. So if you did like the video, remember to leave a like. It does help a lot. It also let me know if you would like to see more content like this or not. So that is it for this video. I hope that undercharging does bring you a lot more victories, whereas you would have probably had losses. But yeah, we'll see you in the next video, battlers. Have a good stinking day.